Hello everyone, I am Renown Zero, and we're back again talking about yet again more detractors. This time it'll be VikkiVerse, of course Dick Masterson, because he always has something to say apparently about literally everything. And we got a special guest, Actual Fandom, aka Dane. So we'll start here from the Rippaverse Goalposts account with Vicky saying, "Bruh, ISOM 2 is underperforming compared to ISOM 1. Again, most times number 2 will never do as good as number 1. People check out or people continue. It happens with all comics, Vicky. Come on now. You're being kind of dumb. All your chatter about how it's going at the same pace aside, it isn't. Well, considering that I've been keeping track of this since ISOM 1, ISOM 2 has made more money in its first 24 hours than the first book. Also, there are plenty of more things that need to be released, like the short box, the mass print of cover D, so I'm pretty sure people will be picking those up, as well as people who are still trying to donate more books. I know I will be picking up the short box and cover D, and it's hilarious to spite these people, but I actually do want it because I want to have everything. Half as many buyers. Again, he's always made it clear that that was going to be the case. He's not hiding that. And you're nearly 1.5 million behind compared to the same point in ISOM number 1's pre-order. Being transparent has disadvantages. No, actually, it has no disadvantages. Being transparent is showing your customers the facts and the truth behind your product. He becomes transparent, showing you the sales, showing you the numbers, so people like you can't have these sort of gotchas when it comes to the unit sales and the numbers that the book makes. What you seem to still have those anyway because you're not very intelligent. If you were intelligent, you wouldn't be a homeless bald-headed winch, as Eric July would like to call you. But of course, he responded to you like this, and you got absolutely destroyed. Okay, bald-headed winch. Number 1, we had raw unsigned copies last campaign, a concept art book, and the cards ran the entire campaign. We made $700,000 on raw unsigned copies alone. If we sold out of our signature series, which we are close, this campaign we won't get anything close to $700,000. There's no Be Canonized tier, which that was $5,000, and it was given out to 10 people. Number 2, we released the mass print cover last time within the first couple of days. That is not out yet. There are less new items available. We only have 11 items right now. 4, this is number 2. Rarely is a number 2 going to sell more units. We're closing on 25,000 books without the mass print being released. That's well over a third of the books sold last time, and we have 2 months left. 5, campaigns do not have the same stakes like number 1's, same items nor the same costs, which alone would impact the sales figures. It's basic math. And lastly, there's no possible way you can spin $1.6 million into some sort of L when you look like this. Leanne Starr says, "Why am I seeing so much hate towards you, man? It's wild. You made a comic and that's an effing issue. Do people have to be miserable pricks about everything? WTF, STFU? Are these people making anything worthwhile? I'm going to take a wild guess. Just a bunch of weirdos. It's usually the same handful of them that are upset at the winning. Sure, but why the F is a single issue $35 plus shipping? Because it's a 112-page book, new book, that is above the industry standard in paper quality," which is true. I do have all 3 covers of this campaign and the previous one. You realize she responded as well. You realize you just validated what I said, right? Thanks for that. If you have to rely on a canonized them tier to boost totals, you're effed, by the way. And in the indie comic space, unlike mainstream comics, the second book usually does equal or better unless the first book sucked. That's actually incorrect. That's not how it always works. You have nothing in the Chrome Dome of yours. We are at $1.6 million. We've shown we don't have to rely on to be canonized. It's just math. You have to consider that when looking at sales figures and comparing. It's Nina Infinity. Lol, that's the same woman who was trying to say that Star Wars girl's ass is photoshopped on her calendar and shame her for it. To be fair, Gollum doesn't have an ass, so a deranged creature like that wouldn't know when it saw one. Nerd got nerdrotic. What exactly does this woman know about selling comics? Is she a former retailer? A publisher? Why do we keep hearing from her? Marsupial Gamer. Gary, you just don't understand. Being chronically unemployed and living in the attic of a Goodwill makes you an expert in literally everything. Camelot 331. She just getting roasted. They'll say anything for a crumb of clout is what it's supposed to say. How can you possibly see 1.6 million as nothing but a win? Shit. Especially when he's made 4.6 times his initial investment for the second campaign. Visual representation of what just happened. Again, Star Wars girl. Imagine being this homeless hag and giving financial criticism to a self-made millionaire. And we got Andrew from Rippaverse, shout out. It's assaulting to even hags in The Witcher. It got heel versus babyface. Eric, after reading that cat piss stinking woman's tweet, he's wiping his tears with money. Dan Vask, Stephanie. Oh my god, Rip, I can't even read past the first sentence. I'm dying. Yeah, she is just getting absolutely roasted. As she should. I can't even see what she said because she blocked me, but I'm betting it's something hateful and stupid. It is. She's saying that his sales aren't doing as well as the first book. Meanwhile, she doesn't know anything about business, because if she did, she wouldn't be crying all the time on Twitter. And we got Tom from Midnight's Edge. Lol, not one comment in support of this thing. Vic takes the L and move. Vic needs to take the L and move on. We, of course, have the guy who self-owned himself by showing a page of ISOM that wasn't in the book at all. 1 to 3, we just need more supply. They will increase demand. No, it won't. 4 to 5, things that are successful never grow in popularity, and there was never the expectation that ISOM 2 would make more money than the first one, which he stated that. If what you're saying is true, how does Cyberfrog 2 make more money than Bloodhoney? If you have more things to sell, then people will have more things to buy. Yes, it was very likely that ISOM 2 wouldn't make as much as ISOM 1. It's the second issue slump. I wasn't around when Cyberfrog got released. Would Cyberfrog 2 have more hype and excitement than Cyberfrog 1? Yes, people have more things to buy on the Cyberfrog 2 campaign. That's why it made more money, stupid. Like, again, remember, this is the guy who self-owned himself on a Nerd July live stream by showing a page of the book that wasn't in the book, the ISOM 1. But as of this recording, let's refresh real quick. Currently sitting at 1.653 million, which again, cover D is not available. 9,740 cover A from Turnian, 10,279 cover B's by Ethan Van Sciver, 3,382 cover C's by Shane Davis, the one that is embossed and foiled. And it looks great. Eric has showed it plenty of times on stream, with 1,194 total books donated. Still got 2 more months to go, with a total of 14,188 individual purchasers. So, of course, Dick Masterson has to chime in because, you know, he has to be a freaking idiot. It's male pattern baldness, you illiterate schmuck. Not male patterned baldness. Hashtag ISOM sucks. Yeah, says the guy who has no clout. You get 111 likes for that one with a guy who has 26,700 followers. Just say you're irrelevant at this point. Cry harder. Eric clearly doesn't care enough to respond to you of all people. He doesn't. He just calls you Buster Baxter because you kind of do look like that. Do you just follow him around waiting for him to make another tweet just to get his attention? Seriously, I've seen people who actually like you say you're being a creep at this point. It's true. There are people in my comment section saying they used to like you, but now you become a complete woman. Male patent baldness. Please pedantically correct writers' grammar and syntax errors more often. It's great. No, it's just stupid. It just makes you look dumb. I don't get the point of this one. Some of us aren't familiar with it. He should probably run his tweets through the same editor as ISOM. Good job, buddy. You got no likes. You got 22 views. You got no likes. Congratulations on your terrible tweet. Holy hell, 2 letters. It's still the same thing. Great response. She might as well be male pattern baldness. Yeah. Again, good one. 139 views with your no likes because no one cares. This is the perfect response for you. Oh my God. Shut up, bitch. This would be the perfect response here. Absolutely. Perfect response for Dick Masterson. Shut up, bitch! Oh my God! Literally, shut up. You don't need no reading when you have a warehouse. Eric July wishes he had the talent of Movie Bob. Movie Bob's a clown. Nobody should have the talent of Movie Bob. This is the guy that tried to take a photo with a chick and he got shut down and put in the friend zone. Like, dude, get out of here. Being grammar police on Twitter now, pretty much. That's fucked up. You know he has speech. I don't know what the hell that is, but got some more. No offense, but you're kind of stupid. Classifications of pattern hair loss. Gives them a little bit of that. So, you know, these are extra things. There's nothing to do with this. We also have Mr. Actual Fandom. Here we go. I made a featureless, lame, hacky mascot character, and just based on this one image, you can glean more information about him than you can ISOM from 90 pages of a comic book. By the way, it's 95 pages. Get it right. It's 96 pages with the ad for his wife's business, and the next book is going to be 112 pages, which, once again, morons like you don't understand that it's a 3-part arc, it's 3 books, and you don't have to show the origin in the first book. A whopping 9 likes for a guy who has 1,720 followers. GG. With, of course, comments turned off because you know you get roasted because you're a pussy. What else we got? These chuds are like babies lacking object permanence and only watch movies for the pretty lights and sounds. Yeah, I don't think so, but what is that one tweet you got? Oh yeah, remember, you're doing all this for Eric, right? You even got this little clip here about sales and all that. But before we get into that, remember, you said you want, after seeing this image, that you want a bacon cheeseburger in the shape of a human baby. That's kind of psychotic and a little weird, my dude. You might wanna not post stuff like that. That's kind of weird. But let's get into this. Number 1 hit 1.5 million in under 48 hours. There was more items available at the time. Number 2 finally hit after nearly 2 weeks, and it's only crawled to 1.6 million. It only crawled? I mean, it's 1.653. So, what do you mean only crawled? And again, the short boxes haven't been put on the campaign yet, and cover D hasn't been put on the campaign yet. I know, I'll be picking both of those up. Your framing implies the sales are still coming at a rate that could compare with number 1, but then when an objective read shows that's not true. Also, let's watch this. So essentially showing the graph apparently about the interest of the Rippaverse. Basically saying the interest died. This was from ISOM 1 here, this was ISOM 2 over here. But he typed in Rippaverse, so I mean... ISOM number 2's launch garnered far less interest and sales than number 1. That happens with most comic books in the industry as well. You can look up those sales numbers, but of course it wouldn't fit your narrative because you're a retard. So he searches up ISOM Rippaverse, okay. Number 1 crossed 1.5 in another 48 hours. Allegedly, there's no third-party accounting, only Eric himself. Well, yeah, he has a back end. That's normal on websites. But ISOM number 2 struggled to pass 1.5 million over 1 week after launch, and 2 weeks after launch hits 1.56 million. Well, for one, in the first couple of days, the site was overwhelmed with a lot of traffic. Clearly, there was a lot of interest in ISOM 2, so that's a big indicator. Secondly, the campaign didn't have as many items as the first one. This includes offering to send comics to kids for half price, which could have been a desperate move to juice the numbers. No, this was actually a move that he was talking about, and it was something that the fans requested. Again, talking a bunch of bullshit out of your mouth doesn't make it true. It just makes you look ignorant because you don't know actual facts of what's going on, because you don't keep up that closely. So he went to a musician and he looked up Eric July, which again, Eric July is a frontman of a band called Backwards. He's not a solo artist. ISOM, Rippaverse, Eric July, whichever search terms you use, they all say the same thing. I can guarantee if people looked up actual fandom, you'd probably have no interest. It's still pretty high up there, bud. And that's his evidence. Google Trends. Google Trends shows ISOM 2 saw its peak last September, not launch day, which was the case for ISOM 1. Last September is when he talked about it. This is a very bad sign for the long-term outlook of Rippaverse, which, once again, you are trying to essentially say that it's going to have a bad outlook. Meanwhile, you are literally not doing anything and you're not making any money off anything you're doing. So Eric talks like only revenue matters with comics, and it does matter, but resonant characters, intriguing worlds, and unique narratives which create sustained interest are necessary for brand longevity. Something Spider-Man, yes, Miles too, has an abundance of. Miles does not have an abundance of anything. He has an abundance of nothing. Because when you say Spider-Man, people refer to Peter Parker. They don't refer to Miles Morales, who's Miles Morales. So, but also, he has a universe to make. He has a universe to build, which he has other books like Alpha Core 1 and Rippaverse number 1 coming this year. So, as well as other projects, because I'm pretty sure Chuck Dixon, after he finished Alpha Core number 1, started working on another project, and I'm pretty sure he was either close to finishing it or finished it already. ISOM does not, Rippaverse does not. Yes they do. Because the only time it seemed for Miles Morales to be popular was in the movies. He wasn't anywhere near as popular in the comics as he was in the movies, considering his sales don't reflect that. It only reflects in the movies, not the comics. But of course, again, these are people who don't know nothing about anything. These are people that just spew out a bunch of bullcrap, and they spew out their terrible opinions on things they don't understand. Especially with VikkiVerse, where she believes that she knows anything about any kind of business sense, which she's a homeless, bald-headed wench who eats her cat's food. Dick Masterson trying to latch on to some ankles because he's clearly irrelevant and not doing anything else besides a podcast with Vito the Pedo. So, in actual fandom, same thing. He has this whole group called the Fandom Initiative that's supposed to be some type of anti-fandom menace type group going after the anti-fans who voice their opinions on the internet that I don't like. They believe that people putting out their opinions are somehow mind controlling the audience to not do things, to not watch entertainment. When in actuality, it's just people giving opinions about terrible movies and terrible TV shows. And at times, yes, they do talk about the TV shows and movies they do like, which is another thing that actual fandom doesn't tell you. Especially against people like Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic. So, sum it all up, these people are jealous of Eric's success. They're trying to latch on to Eric's success, trying to give him some type of criticism that he's never going to really take serious because he's the one that's running the business. He's the one that has the business be successful, and the other people don't know anything about the business side of what he's doing. So at the end of the day, he's just going to monetize these fools and move on with his life. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, or returning viewers. If you do like this video, hit that like button, comment below what you feel about all this, subscribe for more content, hit the bell for notifications, set the bell to all, that way you get notifications anytime I post a new video, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.